Hey, and welcome back. And we are going back to a video series that I have neglected as of late, but the fact of the matter is that we need to get back to it. And that is my personal credit card collection. And today I'm going to be featuring the Amex Gold card. So I'm going to let my lovely co-star talk to you guys while I get everything ready, and we will jump right into it.
Welcome back to my dad's channel. If you're new here, make sure to click that like button and subscribe, and don't forget to share.
So the Amex Gold card is a card that I bring to you that probably really doesn't need much introduction. I have talked about this card on numerous occasions. There is a myriad of videos online that you can check. You can know everything about this card from the Ruta to the Tuta. I have actually featured it in fun facts videos that I have. Like, it is older than the Amex Platinum card by quite a few years. It's one of the first luxury cards that really came out that differentiated people who were in the know and those who, were part of the crowd. So the very first thing that we have to get into is, what is it? Now, the Amex Gold card is unique in that it is not a credit card, it is a charge card. Charge cards are not as common as credit cards are nowadays because with a charge card, once you charge up everything that you pay for, you need to pay it within that billing cycle. So that is great. You want to charge $50,000, you better have $50,000 to pay for. Unlike credit cards, you don't get a pay over time. Well, you're normally not supposed to, but Amex has since made the push in order to give people pay over time alternatives, even with their charge cards. Not particularly something I agree with, but it is what it is. I don't make the decisions over at Amex, but this is a charge card. It does not have a set limit. It does have a soft limit depending on your spend and what other algorithmic goodies they can use to determine how much money they will loan you on the spot that they expect to get back within 30 days. But that is a charge card. Next up is the cost. Now, for the most part, I have actually featured cards with no annual fee, but you know what? First time for everything. This card actually has a $250 annual fee. So what does that mean? What that means is that when you apply for the card within the first billing cycle, you give Amex $250 for the privilege of membership in the Amex Gold crowd. Now, is it the worst? No. Is it the best? No, because other comparable cards that do some of the same things that the Amex Gold does, they actually come with lower annual fees, and in some cases, zero annual fee. But we'll get into that later. So, benefits and protection. Really and truly, because the market is so saturated with people who have gone over the gold card. I have videos where I have gone over the gold card. I can't even lie to you. It's a very boring card per se. Even though it's my workhorse card, I even named the video a boring card review where I review the card. But I'm going to give you the long and short of it as far as what this card comes with. It's multipliers. You get 3x on flights booked either directly with the carrier or through AmexTravel.com. You get 4x on grocery store purchases up to $25,000 at U.S. grocery stores. That part's important. U.S. grocery stores, we are covering the U.S. card. And also, you get 4x points per dollar on all restaurant spend, takeout, and delivery. And now, just like the groceries were in the US, the restaurants, though, can be worldwide. So you can take this card anywhere with you because, like most Amex cards, it has no foreign transaction fees. Now that the multipliers are out of the way, we can get into the credits. Now, this card, if you load it as a payment method on your Uber app, you will automatically get $10 worth of Uber Cash at the first of every month, like clockwork. So if you have a gold card that is literally 10 free bucks you can use for Uber rides or Uber Eats or food delivery or Uber scooters, or I think they got like an Uber helicopter or something like that, but it's 10 free dollars a month for a total of $120 a year that the card is returning to you. That's what you paid that annual fee membership for. And then in addition to that, you get a $10 credit at select merchants, and which are select food merchants, and you get to use that every year, making the effective annual fee $10. Now, there are going to be critics, oh, you should tell me what they are. You know what they are. We all know what they are. This is a part of my collection, so we're going to treat this like a high a high overview of the card. And we are aware of the select merchants, so we have an effective annual fee of $10 because you get $120 worth of Uber Cash and $120 worth of food credits every year. So the card is really, at this point, it's kind of bulletproof on the scene as far as food goes. Now, as far as buyer protections and insurances, look, I'm just gonna be honest with you. That stuff's really boring. So, you know, if you wanna read all the fine print, there's no point in having me read it to you because as you can see, I can barely talk. You've seen the state of my editing. So here's the thing. You got all the fine print. You can go on Amex.com, look at the fine print, or I'm sorry, AmericanExpress.com, and look at all the fine print. They got you taken care of. The long and short of it is, this is by far one of the best cards for food purchases, period, that you can get as long as you can justify the annual fee, the effective annual fee that is, and that's pretty much it. So when we talk about closest relative cards, this card is aimed squarely at eating. I understand that, and you understand that. But there are cards that are in its wheelhouse. Like one of the ones that jumps to mind is the Capital One SavorOne card. That is a card that I've been told about and heard about. Everybody kind of knows my feelings about Capital One, but it's definitely one that I want to mention, but I'm not going to talk about it too much. What I am going to touch on is the fact that there is a card that is really coming for the territory that the Amex Gold occupies, and that's actually the Bilt MasterCard. Now, with the Bilt MasterCard, you normally get 3x on dining, except on the first of the month when it's rent day, and you get 6x on dining. But with their new Bilt Wallet and Bilt Dining, that can actually go straight up to 11x on select days, which really would put the Amex Gold on its heels. So there are alternative cards that you can use for dining and food purchases. Now, as far as grocery purchases, the other relative card that I would put forward would be the Blue Cash Preferred, as it gets you 6x, but there is a limit of $6,000 spend as opposed to the $25,000 that you will get with the Gold card. So those are the relatives, because, you know, F is for family. So the dark side of the card. The dark side being that, you know, for the most part, just Amex acceptability. And initially, that $250 annual fee might be a little too hard for people to stomach because most people can't rectify, hey, I don't want to pay to use a card to pay to eat. But most of those people don't know what they're doing. So that's totally okay. We can use the exclusivity. But for the most part, that's pretty much my only problems with the card as far as the dark side is concerned. It's just the initial cost and maybe some acceptability issues. But you're not going to run into a ton of those, to be honest with you. So that's why I didn't do the whole bit where I turned on the lights, because this card's still pretty cool. So who's it for? Frankly, this guy. And for you or anyone else you know who eats food ever in life, period. As a cohesive unit, this card is by far one of the best food cards that you can have, as it earns very valuable Amex MR points, which you can trade in towards travel, or if you have other companion cards, you can actually trade in for a cash value of 1.1 cents per point. So these points are something that you amass very quickly, because I don't know about you, but I eat every day. It's just, you know, it's one of those things that I've gotten used to. It's quite the hobby, and you know, my waistline tells me that I'm getting much better at it in my older age. So that is who I would suggest this card for. If you are someone, and we all know someone, who would literally go to a restaurant morning, noon, and night for dinner. I've been associated with these people, and they're horrible, horrible individuals. Well, at least this particular one was. But the fact is that you can use this card to really get an amazing return on eating very unhealthy and blowing a ton of money, eating out at restaurants all the time. Some people, you know, that's just their lifestyle. It is what it is. I'm not judging. I'm just poking a little fun. But the fact is, you can still get great value where this card is concerned. So I would suggest it to anybody who ever eats ever. But that is it. That is, you know, a little foray back into my personal card collection. We are going to continue because I still, like I've probably said before, I have many cards to cover, and I want to make sure everybody can have a look at it. Now, as far as that whole bit with the benefits and protections, I'm really serious. Go on the website and read it. It's a lot of fine print. Gives me a headache. I mean, I just gave you the broad strokes. And like I said, there are tons of videos that go into deep detail with it. this just ain't gonna be one of them. But you can check out some other stuff that I have. I will go ahead and spread my hands like this, and then I'll work it out so that they appear here. And you can check out other things that I have, and hopefully you stick around for the channel. And that is about it. I am not going to babble on any further, and I wish you guys the best, and I'll catch you in the next one.